Welcome back, guys. Today we'll be picking up more junk. And it involves me airing up this implement tire. And it also involves me having that guy. And some zip ties. And it also entails taking this tire off 504 here because the driver's side tire on this unit didn't look too good for wear, so just taking this as a backup. And lastly, we won't need this guy where we're going. Alrighty, let's get to it. Well, folks, here she is, McCormick number 46 Baler. I'm not going to record too much here because I want to respect this gentleman's privacy on this property, but I'll show you guys in just a moment once I get it off. But anyways, I'm going to get the wheel on, I'm going to check the grease on these, and then haul her on home. Well, feeling it here, it feels good. There really is barely any play whatsoever. But we'll still check. Pop that grease cap on off. Any year now. Got her popped on off. That grease in there does look a little rallied. We'll put some of this red and tacky in there and just call her today. Fill the cap up a little bit too. And then that should be good for the next 60 years. Got her on there. Just tap her back on. Life is good. Wipe up that grease too. Put on the hub a little bit of anti-seize, you know? We don't waste around here. Now it feels like a proper time to confess too that these are running tubeless. I should say this wheel. So the story is, we got a tube and everything for this size tire and wheel. And it was undersized, we found out when we aired it up, because all it did was blow up. But we were able to get the tire to seat on the bead just fine. It's holding 30 psi. So just gonna send it on the way home. It says this tire maxes out at 30. I'm definitely not gonna start going 30, but if it works, it works. Alrighty, she's on there. Feels pretty smooth, feels pretty good. Let's drop her on down. Alrighty, on to the other side. Let's just pray that doesn't de-bead. Now this is the other side, and this is why I brought my 504 wheel, because this tire is very dry rotted. I don't know if it's original or not, I doubt that. But I noticed that the lug pattern on this looked to be the same as my 504, so I could just bolt the 504 one on in case this one gives out. I will have to throw a little bit of air in this as well, but let's get this cap off and get this guy greased up as well. And just by feeling it, it feels pretty solid. I don't feel a lot of wigglage. So yeah. That's awesome though. So the earlier models on these hay balers, these number 46s, said McCormick on them, and then the later models said International. So that's how I know this is an earlier model. So like a 58, early 60s, I believe. Awesome, but I'll ramble on when I get this home. This side seems similar for wear. Not good, not bad. It just is. Again, get a dollop of this red and tacky in there. Put her back on. Life is good. Maybe I'll give a quick zip too on these studs just to make sure they're tight. Well, after christening the tire with redneck grease, and also known as redneck tire shine, I think she's good to air up. They'll seal up the cracks. They'll hydrate it. It won't blow up. It's fine. Also, they're cute border collies checking me out. Now, one thing I am concerned about is this hood popping off going down the road. So I will keep an eye on that, but that's all right. Ooh, wonder if this was like from a junkyard or something. All right, got her hooked on. Now it comes to the securing part. You're gonna want to secure that PTO shaft, maybe that hood, and a few other things. I got the twine tied off on the, the timer bar thing or whatever. And then I want to secure the chute too, because I don't want this flopping on back. And I remember this gentleman had a hitch pin somewhere on this thing, and I cannot find it for the life of me now, which is kind of sucks. I mean, I have my own, but I'm greedy. I want to have as many as I can. I don't want it falling down the highway and popping some poor semi's tire or something, so I'll look for that, but oh well. Alrighty, now that she's road legal, finally time to drive her home. Well folks, we got the baler in tow. It's a lot less dramatic than when I was hauling my hay bine. Apparently there's tornadoes just to the north there, but that's fine because that's north and we're here, so it's all good. I'm gonna, at the intersection up here, just stop and vibe check everything. I did fill up the driver's side tire to 32 PSI, which is already pretty much up there, and it's still kind of squishy. Again, we have a spare, so not a real big deal if it blows, but something to just keep an eye on. I don't really want to go over 30 miles per hour. These implement tires, the new one isn't rated above 30 miles an hour with light loads, and I have that without a tube in it going 30 miles per hour with a light load, so definitely got to be careful with that guy. Well, it'll be fine, I hope, but I don't know, I'm new to this stuff. When I hauled my hay bine home, that was on all-terrain car tires, so I hauled that home going like 40, 50, I didn't care, but this hay baler is a little bit of a different story. So we'll get up to this intersection up here, so probably as soon as we get on gravel actually, and I'll have a peek at it. And yeah, pardon my shaky mirrors, but she don't stick out that much. I like it. Now on this side I can't even see it, so you know, life is good, man. Y'all think I can float a gear? Oh ho ho! Man, it is windy. I'm sorry guys. Sorry for the wind noise. Everything's fine though. Checked on it. Everything is secure. Triangle's still there. Tires are still holding together. I'm going a little bit above 30 and they're doing just fine. So just keep on trucking home. God, fucking. So this is my tripod for today because it's so windy. I had a backing board too. Getting real advanced here, folks, real advanced. Well guys, we finally got her home. She's right next to the hay bine, at home, by the pasture. She'll eventually do one day. But anyways guys, I will get back to you as soon as these winds die down because it is a nightmare to record in this. But just a brief synopsis before I go here. Held up fine. Everything was spick and span. All my zip ties held up. Drove her home going about 30, 40. Tires are good. Life is good. I'll get back to y'all later. Well guys, it's the next day and it's about to rain in a couple hours here. Supposedly, you know how that goes. So I want to get the baler in the barn here. I don't want it to get rained on. The wind has not let up, unfortunately. It let up overnight, but of course, you know, in the morning it just gets real spicy again, so it's the way she goes. But let's get that baler detached from the truck and then I'll pull that on in here with the Allis-Chalmers. this guy someday. I'm waiting for his rotor to come in the mail. Then we can actually start playing with the hay bind. You know, I'm gonna shut this door because I'm trying to record, but this wind noise is just horrendous. Alrighty guys, we got it in the shop. The reason I had to shut the door there is just because the wind noise is horrendous. Unfortunately, we don't have as good of lighting, but you know, it is what it is. But I figured, story time, I'll tell you guys how I got this baler. So I picked this thing up because I was driving by the auction just to check out their hay rakes and whatnot, and I also needed a baler. And I got to get away from this door. Gosh, that wind noise is horrible. Anyways, I went to the local auction yard and I was looking at everything they had there, and there's just a sacked out New Holland rake, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take the long drive home because it was a beautiful day. And on the way home, it dawned on me, I'm like, well, we're out in the country. I mean, someone might have one of these laying around, and sure enough, as soon as I thought that, I saw a baler sitting in the woods. So I asked the gentleman, well, I didn't ask him, I left a little napkin with my name and number written on it saying I was interested in his hay equipment because he had other equipment sitting out there too. And he said, he called me back and said, hey, you don't want that baler in the woods. It's trash. It's only for parts. But he did say that he did have a baler sitting inside his shed that he'd be willing to sell me. So I went to his place, checked this baler out, and passed my vibe check. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know everything I'm looking at, but you gotta start somewhere. But I hauled it on home later on, and yeah, also made a new connection. So it really pays, guys, to sometimes just, you know, if you're looking at that old truck sitting in a field or equipment like this, just go knock on their door, and honestly, that's how you get some good deals. And I'm not going to say I got the price I got on this, just protect the gentleman's privacy, but let's just say I got it for like a quarter of what these typically go for in similar worse condition. And yeah, it was awesome. And I didn't only pick up this, I also picked up a Minneapolis hay rake. And that thing was a little worse for wear, I'm not gonna lie, but it'll work. If I had to say this is like my rust-free Honda Civic, then that rake was like my hay bind out there. Sacked out, but it'll work, I hope. But yeah, it was a Minneapolis rake, and it's really cool. He was telling me the history behind it. Apparently those were made by prisoners east of the Twin Cities, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so pretty much moral of the story, it pays to be, you know, extroverted. I know in this day and age where we get everything on Facebook Marketplace and whatnot, and you really don't establish a good connection that way. Sometimes just knock on the door of your neighbor and see if they'll sell you something, and you can make friends along the way. But anyways, enough of me rambling about being social. I'm gonna clean up my shop, and then we'll start greasing everything that has a Zerk on this. Hopefully the Zerks aren't seized up. The gentleman, I didn't ask him how long it's been sitting, but if I had to guess roughly, I'm gonna say 5 to 15 years. I will get back to you guys on how long this did sit, because I do need to go back to his place and pick up that hay rake. Unfortunately, the hay rake is stuck engaged, so I'm gonna have to put it on my trailer. But oh well, it is what it is. He lives only about 30 minutes from here, so. All right, enough of me rambling. Let's get to working on this thing. Okay guys, so I've been giving her all the greasing up the joints. I believe this is an oil-filled bearing, so I put a little bit of oil in there, but I will have to look at that later. I greased the shaft there, the U-joints and whatnot. I actually applied some WD-40. Now I'm starting to get further up on the implement here. I'm going to crack this oil level loose. I'm going to test the quality of the oil, see if it's up to level and whatnot, and yeah, just a little bit of preventive maintenance ASMR on this thing. Got my official John Deere wrench to work on this IH. Now I don't know what they fill these with, but I assume anything that lubricates is fine. Well, nothing's coming out, but there is oil on there. It's really thick. Feels like a viscosity of gear oil, but it doesn't smell like it. Tighten that back up. one trick I've learned over the years is don't open the drain until you open the fill. Been there, had that happen. It's kind of awkward when you can drain it, but you can't fill it. Wow, big old gear in there. Helically cut too, so it's not going, but all right, noted. You know, just the masculine urge to stick your fingers into a gear that you shouldn't be sticking your finger in. Anyways, we'll go down here, pop that drain out, and kind of get a sniff for that oil. So I do have a clear pan here, so I don't feel bad dumping it back on in. There'll be no contaminants, but this way we can at least see the condition of the oil. So let's drop that oil. You know, I saw this exact wrench for sale at an antique store for like 90 bucks. Anyways, moral of the story, if you can inherit tools, take them, because you're keeping a family tool alive and you save money. Oh, and I'm tightening it. Well, if it tightens, that means it'll loosen, right? It would do move. My Atlanta. Alrighty. Alright, let's look for any metal chunks in there. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that feels thick. That is definitely thicker than your average motor oil. There's a little bit of glitter in there, but I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, it kind of looks like a mocha or something. Maybe do like the cool little leaf in it. Yeah, no, that didn't really work out too well. We'll just hydrate the tire more. But anyways, this oil felt fine. It feels really viscous still, so I'm not even concerned about it. I will top it off. I'll just mix it with another oil. I am not even worried about it. The main reason I popped this was just to look for chunks and anything weird, and I stuck my finger up in there and turned it around. I didn't feel any chunks laying on the bottom, so we should be totally fine. Dump this oil back on in, and we'll just keep going down the line. And I will say there is something very therapeutic about working on old equipment and old cars and whatnot. It just works. So I just have some random hydraulic fluid laying around. And this is like the only thing I have left in bulk that's a lubricant. And it's free, and it feels like a lubricate, so I'm not too worried about it. And transmission hydraulic fluid. Oh, it's green. Sure. Get this guy back on too, of course. Now on over to the other side. Sorry about my plumber's crack. I'm getting fat, so my shirts aren't fitting me anymore. We'll get down to this guy right here and service this one as well. I assume there's a drain plug on the bottom. Yeah. I don't have brake clean on hand because that stuff's expensive, so I just deal with it. I'm guessing I just take this bolt off and it'll let me know the oil level. Well, that was easy. Which would lead me to the allude that this has probably been off. Is that a copper crush washer on there? Oh yeah. And there's oil. Yep, that's definitely a check hole. And I believe this is the same stuff that's from the other side. So what we'll do is we'll just twist this back on and tighten her up. I will say this felt like it had the same amount of viscosity as the other side, so I'm not that worried about it. And I think that's it for all the oil. Now I just got to go around and find random zerks that are in obvious places, like on this arm, of course, that moves this pitchfork thingamabobber. This little pivot shaft right here where the knotters are. Just obvious places. So I'm just going to go around and grease random zerks. I will make a full grease zerk video for this. I do this with every implement I get, and I'll upload it. and tractor, where every grease zerk is on it according to the books. Uh-oh, what's that? Hey guys, so it pays to ask people questions. I was having an issue here where the pickup tines were interfering with the auger. I asked one of my coworkers and he said, oh, it's because you have it in the transport position. And I was like, ah, that makes sense. So I dropped the header down to the actual operating position and there was no more interference. So that was just the problem that you see here in the video. So disregard the interference between the pickup tines and the auger. I got the problem fixed. Well, I figured out the issue. I was just spinning this the wrong way. That's all it was. I was just spinning it in a way in which if you spin it backwards, I guess it just doesn't work. But when this goes back here, these are on a cam and these will fold on up to clear this right here. Now it spins fine, but my next problem I'm bumping into is these twines are hitting the auger. And let me demonstrate it for y'all. See that collision right there? Now I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but it is kind of annoying. But this way we can verify everything works, plunger plunges, things move. But yeah, that really does make it more difficult. So this guy right here may be out of time. And you see how that just pinches right in between there? That's just no bueno. So I bet you can time that, but that probably isn't that hard because all this guy is driven off of an actual belt here. And this belt is crossed. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or not, but we'll keep plugging away at it. I'm gonna give it a couple more rotations, make sure everything's hokey-dory, minus, you know, this right here. Well, the nice thing is these lift up too, so I can kind of just tuck that while I'm testing it. So I am going to cut this video short. I will not get to operating this in this video, but we will soon. Trust me, I want to use this as soon as possible. But, oh, wrong way. There we go. Yeah, there's the auger. Auger's still interfering with it. But that's fine. That'll probably be an easy fix. Yeah, this is a good workout. Man, you poor. Grind them till you find them. Oof to me. Alright, I'd say she's good. Well guys, that's going to wrap up the video for now. I was going to make this a longer video, but my phone's running out of storage space, so I have to make do with what I got. This whole channel, this whole production is run off of my phone. But there she is. There is the International Baler number 46. I will get the date on this soon, but I do know it's like an early 60s, late 50s, just because of the McCormick sign right there. Oh, and look at that. I guess I made a bale of hay. And my tire still holds air, so that's an ultimate win. Drop in the comments below, how do I park this up so I can like bring my tractor to it without putting, because like usually there's like on implements we have a little twist jack right there like you would for a trailer, but I haven't figured this one out yet. I was thinking it was this, but all this does is drop the head. So drop in the comments below, how do I do this right? But anyways guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and please subscribe. You will see more content like this. I don't only do farm equipment, I also do race cars and other fun stuff. I'm a Honda guy. That's also an old, you know, farm stuff. A really weird combination, but you know, whatever. I guess we'll make it work. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. I'm a growing channel, so every like, comment, subscription helps. Comment below how terrible these knotters are. I already posted this on a Facebook group like, hey guys, I brought it home, and half the people are like, awesome. The other half are like, it's never going to tie a knot for you again. So if we could just bring that criticism in this comment section, it'll really boost the algorithm for a guy. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and y'all have a good one.